A 15-year-old teenager was walking along Mountain Road in Pasadena when he and his friends were struck by a passing SUV. It happened last April. Skylar Marion died as a result of that accident, but the driver never stopped and is still at large here almost a year later.
Now, as the investigation continues, so does the pain for the Marion family. But now a piece of legislation that could help other families avoid the same fate is out there.
ABC 2 News investigator Brian Kubler now on the Skylar and the sheer amount of hit and runs.
Mountain Road is the only way in and out of Michael Marion's part of Pasadena, trapped by the haunting memory of his son, held hostage by the crime that took his life.
It hurts. It hurts. Sometimes I just want to close my eyes when I go by. That way, maybe it's not there. But it's there. And every day we go by it. My boys see it every day. Their bus goes by it every day.
It's just around the bend from the family's home where Skylar Marion was struck and killed last April as he was walking along Mountain Road with his friend. The driver took off that night and still has not been found. 3 seasons later, this memorial still marks the spot as if a tragic mile marker Michael and his 2 other boys have to pass every day.
Every day it gets harder and harder and harder. And a lot of people it gets easier, you know, but when you have the person out there that turned around and took my son's life and they're still out there, you can't let it end.
And so he doesn't. Part of fighting is fixing. Marion restores classic cars, the profits of the most recent sale helping to bump up the reward money for a tip leading to the arrest of the hit-and-run driver. The new total is handwritten on the homemade flyer attached to the back of his work truck. A good payout for anything or anyone that can help Anne Arundel County Police bring in the late 90s model Ford Expedition and the driver that left Skylar for dead.
The longer it goes, the more challenging it is. But with the Marion case, we're out there each and every day tracking down leads. We got a few leads last week. We're going out checking them out.
Lieutenant David Ennis is the commander of the Anne Arundel County Traffic Safety Section. The Marion story is a high-profile one, but his lot of mangled steel and shattered glass tells many more. Hit and runs pose challenges for law enforcement. Evidence left at the scene can point to a range of makes and models. Databases or legitimate auto body shops can lead to suspicious repairs. But in almost all cases, it's the tip or the driver themselves that close the case.
The challenge is there's somebody out there that knows what happened. We need them to do the right thing and to come forward.
I mean, one day, you know, he's got to meet his maker. Him or her, right? And then they'll be judged. But in our lifetime, I don't know. You got all these other hit and runs and everything. I'm not by myself.
Hardly. ABC 2 News studied the available data of hit and runs for most of our viewing area. According to the Maryland State Police, Anne Arundel and Baltimore counties, along with Baltimore City, show an overall increase from 2010 through 2012 of hit and runs involving personal injury or death. Marion is counted in the 2013 stats, which have yet to be finalized by the state. An open case that signs along just about any road in this area will remind drivers still needs closing.
It's a tragic situation. It's just rocked our community.
Senator Brian Simonaire of Anne Arundel County is reminded of it as well, frequently passing this sign on Route 100. It's partly the motivation behind a bill he introduced during this legislative session, a bill getting tough on hit-and-run drivers and dedicated to Skylar Marion.
The message we're trying to put out there is that you never, ever leave the scene of a crime. And not only increasing the penalty, but also requiring the driver's ed to include the teaching of hit and run penalties and everything that's associated with that.
Simonaire's bill bumps the penalty from 10 years in prison to 15, as well as a mandatory education component in driver's ed classes. A proposed bill that so far has seen little opposition.
Are you optimistic?
I'm very optimistic. This is a very real situation. It affects every single county, every district, and I think people are in support of it. Now I just have to move it through the legislative process.
And when it does, Michael Marion will be in Annapolis to testify, telling the story of his son Skylar while wearing the pendant full of his ashes around his neck and close to his heart.
I don't want no one to have to go through what we went through, what we're going through. You know, what we're going through is pure hell. Every day. My kids, me, everything. And every day you live it, right? It's got to stop.
A campaign to simply stop so the pain can stop. In Pasadena, Brian Kubler, ABC 2 News.
Metro Crime Stoppers is offering a reward for $15,000 for information leading to an arrest in this case.
And Skylar Marion's family has raised an additional $5,000, which is not part of the Metro Crime Stoppers award.
For more information on this story, take an interactive look at hit-and-run numbers in our area. All you have to do is log on to our website at abc2news.com.